Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's XBundok here. Today we're going to do a really easy paint. I have a Myconid, I believe it said Myconid, figure, and the Sovereign and two of the Sprouts. And after going over this, I feel like I should have called them Myconikes if they're Myconids. That's kind of worth the joke there. But moving on. I don't really have a tutorial or anything like that for this paint. But I wouldn't mind talking about something that I guess kind of annoys me a little bit, and that's hate from outside of the community. And I'm not talking about, anything really severe, I guess, but just the general comments that, tabletop gaming and D&D and Pathfinder are quote unquote for kids. I always feel it's like the same thing as when someone says anime is for kids. I'm like, well, if you look at some of the animes out there, they're really they're really not, just by how you go through the genre. But no, when I decided to start making a YouTube channel based around my paint, and the miniatures I paint for our campaigns, it was said to me, oh yeah, I enjoyed doing that once, and then I grew up. And it's still kind of sitting with me, mostly because of the relationship I have with the individual, but it's also, it's a hobby. There's other hobbies that are, I would say, equally as foundational as things you might have done in your youth. But when it comes to tabletop, and especially something like D&D or Pathfinder, where it's not a set board game, right? You're developing, you're creating, you're role-playing, you build up problem solving, you learn how to interact with folks. It's a way for you to spend time with your friends. I personally, I think it's just as beneficial as, an adult activity of just sitting around a campfire and drinking some beers or something like that. It's I would say more beneficial because you learn more about people and how they think and how they would interact and what they think is interesting. And I feel almost remiss that people would not even look into something just because, oh, well, it's childish, or there's a stigma around it, of nerds or what have you. I want to say, I was in the United States Marine Corps, and we had, I guess, the nerdiest of Marines sitting around playing D&D on a Saturday night. It's, the largest, I would say, grouping of masculine energy that somebody would kind of stigmatize from an outside scope, doing something that is childish and nerdy. So I never really understood it, and I'm just curious what you guys have run into in your everyday lives. If you're at work and you're like, oh, well, this is what I do. I'm curious to see how people respond, or if people in your close family and friend group say that you should be doing other things with your time. How do you guys go out there? And I don't want to say validate, because you shouldn't have to validate it. It's what you do to enjoy yourself and have a good time, and how you decide to spend your time. But I'm just curious if you guys see similar things in your lives, kind of, that I run into with it. What I feel should be looked at is you're doing a team building activity with people you care about. How is this any more childish than, I would say, the fantasy football teams that people have at work, which actually has fantasy in the title. You're still having something structured. I mean, I guess because it's based off of something physical and real, they feel that it's more validated. It's just something that I've always found a bit intriguing, and I don't think that because all of this is quote unquote made up, or fairy tale or fantasy or whatever you want to call it, that it makes it any less decent than other activities folks could participate in. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that, or what you've run into, if any issues when it comes to folks kind of hating on what you do for fun. For our Myconids here, you see we got the base coats of browns on them, and then we're going to do a little bit of the greens just to kind of get the natural tones in. And then we're going to go in with two different washes. I have a green wash and a soft tone brown wash. So the green wash I do on the center portion of the body to kind of give it more of that mossy feel. And that brown we'll use on the redwood kind of tones for the head and arms. And there you see them fly right out of the holder because it's, really springy and it happens sometimes. Luckily, they're durable enough they don't break. And then for the smaller ones, we do a purple and pink paint along with a purple and soft shading. And so you guys will check that out here in a little bit. Now, overall, I think these guys end up looking pretty snazzy. They're a good addition to the board. I have a friend who likes to play druids a lot, so maybe sometimes his fungal spells will cast back on him once or twice. We'll see how we can work these guys in there. As always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and take care.